Okay. Sorry, you guys. This is my first meeting that I am leading. Please bear with me. I want to greet you all and say welcome to our city council meeting. And if you, Madam Mayor, Madam City Clerk, would you please call the roll?
Councilmember Elliott,
Present.
Councilmember Camarena,
Present.
Councilmember Marroquin,
Present.
Mayor Pro Tem Carter,
Present.
Mayor Oliva, absent.
Okay, if we can please stand. Councilmember Elliott, would you, Moreno, would you lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance? And then please remain standing for the invocation. We're going to ask Councilmember Elliott to lead us.
Ready, begin.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Would you bow, pray with me? Thank you, Father. We praise you for your kindness, your goodness towards us. And we pray, Father, we're very thankful, Father, for the peace, stability, prosperity that we live in and often take for granted. So we thank you for these many blessings. And we pray for a very profitable time together tonight. Thank you for all the ways you bless us. And we just commit the time to you again in Christ's name. Amen.
Amen.
Thank you, Marty.
Okay, thank you to my council members. City Attorney, do you have a report out from closed session?
Yes, Madam Mayor Pro Tem, the interim city manager will provide the report on closed session.
Oh, thought you were doing it. But so we did have a discussion regarding the term sheet and the discussion between El Centro Regional and IVHD. That will be moved to a special forum. Is that what are we calling that?
Public forum.
Public forum, which will be scheduled for the 11th, and it'll be at 5:30 here in this chambers.
And there'll be materials on the website.
Yes, and we'll definitely have it posted on the website as well.
Okay, now the notice to the public. This is a public meeting. If there is any items on the agenda which you wish to be heard, you are asked to complete a blue speaker slip and submit it to the city clerk prior to the start of the meeting. Persons wishing to address the council meeting are not required to identify themselves. However, this information assists the Mayor Pro Tem by ensuring that all persons wishing to address the council are recognized, and also assist the city clerk in preparing the city council meeting minutes. When the item is announced, you step forward and say your name, called by the Mayor Pro Tem. Please step to the podium and state your name for the record. Unless the Mayor Pro Tem extends the time, there is a 3-minute limit for each public presentation. If you wish to address the council concerning any other matters not appearing on the agenda, you may do so during the public comment portion of the agenda. However, you may not show a visual presentation without reviewing of that material. If you do so, you will be considered out of order. Okay. We have one request, and it's Stephen Morrell. If you could please step forward. Thank you.
Good evening, Mayor Pro Tem and City Council members. My name is Stephen Monreal. I'm with the Imperial County Fire Department. So in a short time, the month of April, we'll be having a local event that will benefit Central Union High School. So I do have a short clip that was given to the city clerk, and this time I'll ask them if they could play that for me.
Thank you.
Hi, the people of Imperial Valley. The Imperial County Firefighters Association is inviting public safety workers to participate and the public to support our public safety flag football tournament, April the 5th, 2025. The proceeds earned are donated to the Central Union High School football program. So show up for the flag football. Sounds like a great day. And as always, J-E-T-S, Jets, Jets, Jets. All the best to Imperial Valley.
All right.
So if you're a fan of the NFL, then you might know firefighter Ed. a distant acquaintance of ours, but nevertheless a brother in the fire. So our event, we just wanted to make a public invitation to all of you and the community just to come out and see public safety workers participate in this tournament. There will be raffles, music, food, local vendors, and El Centro Fire has been a big supporter of this event last year, and now this time our second time around. So we're thankful for them, and we'd like you guys just to come out and support us as well, if you can, as well as the rest of the local community, because everything there, it's going to go back to Central. So if you guys will join us, it would be a great pleasure.
Thank you.
you.
Appreciate that. Thank you. Madam City Clerk, are there any requests from anyone attending remotely?
We have none, Mayor.
Thank you. Now we move forward to the presentations and announcements. Number one, Central Union High School Cheer Squad, CIF San Diego Section and CIF State Champions. Woo-hoo! We're going to ask Captain Alyssa to step forward and give us some words, please.
Hi, my name's Alyssa, and I'm captain of the comp team. And we would like to thank the community and everything that everyone has given us. And we'd like to thank our family and especially our coaches, and just thanking you all for like this great season that we've had as a team. And we've gotten really strong together, and we've also made a lot of memories.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. Appreciate that. Coming from a 1991 Central Spartan alumni. Yes. And
Mayor
yes.
Pro Tem Carter, you're not the only one.
Oh, go ahead. Throw your side out there. What year? What year?
Oh, no, I'm giving away my age. Way before any of you were born.
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem, I'm going to give mine.
Oh, go ahead. Throw it out there. What are you?
Class of 1984.
Woo! All right. We got a whole bunch of Spartans up here, huh? We bleed blue. What are you? What are you?
We weren't asking what
We love to have fun with each other.
You can ask me if you want to.
No, we want to know.
I'm going to ask my colleagues to join me in handing out the certificates, and we're going to start to honor your accomplishments as far as the CIF San Diego section and CIF state champions. We're so proud of you. So proud of you. As we call your name, please step forward and grab your, come and get your certification, please. Certificate, I'm sorry.
Certification.
I'm sorry, I'm being led over here and guided by our ex-mayor, Sylvia Marroquin. She's showing me the ropes and I appreciate it. So thank you for that. So we're gonna start with you, Councilmember Elliott.
Yes.
Elliott.
Sofia Figueroa, come forward.
Sophia.
You have a lot of them.
Oh, all of them out there.
Yeah, all of them. Keep going.
Sorry. Milo Rodriguez.
You should know his son.
Yeah, give it to me. Give me some dab.
Next is Isabella Molina Martinez.
All right.
Also, Jasmine Santos Baca. And Giovanni Galip Nigos. Pass this on.
Oh, she's an
She's not
absent.
here, absent.
Thank
We'll
you.
pass that on to you.
Okay. And Councilmember Camarena, would you like to proceed?
Okay. Alyssa Hedman. Amanda Gonzalez. Daniel Gutierrez. Shelby Hernandez. And Eric Romero.
Okay, now we go on to Councilmember Marakin.
I'd like to call up Zereli Miranda Jimenez. Samantha Larios. Liliana Morquecho. Isabela Ontiveros. Victoria Moncada Trescos. Camila Uribe. And Angel Paniagua.
Okay, and I will proceed. Alexander Lopez. Bailey Luna. Congratulations. Grace Navarro. Thank you. Congratulations. Ethan Nava Rodriguez. Congratulations. Rihanna Esperanza. Congratulations. Now we'll call Emilio out for a photograph. And if we can all center in some way.
Yes.
No.
Yeah, we can have the shorter people in the front. Can you move a little bit in the back? No, actually come back to where you were. Just go right there. Get a little bit there. You move it a little bit that way. Right there. Forward. All right. There we go. And thank you. One more. My turn. Yeah. You ready? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's good. Finish mine. Thank you.
Don't disperse, don't disperse. Stay there, stay there, stay there. Matt, stay there, stay there, stay there, stay there.
Captain, where's she at?
Stay there.
If you can take the. to your-
Absentees.
Yes, your
Thank you.
absentees.
Madam Pro Tem, if I may.
Yes, you
Yeah.
may.
So I had a daughter in cheer for the longest time.
Ooh.
Very supportive of the program itself. Wouldn't it be a shame if they left us and we didn't actually see, how talented they are?
Oh, okay.
So where's the captain at? Where's the captain? Captain, where are you? What do you think about doing maybe game day?
A little cheer for us?
Game day? You know what that is, right? You know that cheer? Yes? Can you, do you have enough room? All right, let's do it. Okay. All of you, no, all of you.
Come on,
You can spread out all over the place.
come on, Sparky.
Hey, you thought you were gonna get. There you go. Here's that.
Yes, you may
Here's that.
sit your
There you go.
certificates right here, please.
How did I know that, right?
Which way? Yes,
See,
Yeah, just watch
outside.
it.
That's the camera. See the screen up there?
Yes.
Social media, here it
There we
comes. It's my,
All right, Miss Captain, the floor is yours.
Big Blue. It's game day. Get your game face on. Go. Big Blue. It's game day. Get your game face on. Go. Big Blue. That's right. It's game day. Get your game face on. Go. Big Blue.
good.
Thank you, thank you,
How
thank
did I know that,
you.
right? How does he know game day? What's that?
Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Stage truck? Really? Oh, right now? Oh, dang. It is game day.
Yes.
Thank you, Dennis.
Ah.
Wave at the cameras. Wave at the cameras.
Oh.
There you go. Thank you, guys.
Thank you,
Congratulations.
Spartans. Thank you.
Congratulations. All right.
Bye-bye. Thank you.
Sorry about that. Sorry.
No, that's fine. Thank you. Appreciate that.
That was great.
Yeah, that was great.
Annie, you're such an instigator.
Ah, love it. I love it. Okay, now we're going to move on to the consent agenda, items 2 through 4. May I have a first and a second motion, please?
I motion to approve.
I'll second.
Madam City Clerk, can you please call the roll? Or at least, what is it, let
She'll
us
set up
vote?
the voting. Uh-huh.
Okay, thank you.
Motion passes 4-0.
Thank you, thank you. Now we're going to move on to our new business. Number 4, we have a request for a letter of support from SB 461, State Surplus Property for the City of Imperial. Our interim city manager, Daddy Patamano, will give us the presentation, please.
Thank you, Madam Mayor Pro Tem. We did receive a request from the Honorable Stephen Padilla's office regarding the surplus property, which is the old Highway Patrol office, correct? But we do have a representative here from our Senator's office that would like to speak on that behalf. Yes.
Good evening. My name is Larissa de la Torre, and I'm a district representative with Senator Steve Padilla. Thank you, Mayor Pro Tem and council members, for the opportunity to be here today and present. I am here to request the City of El Centro formal support for SB 461 and a letter of support to help move this legislation forward. The city of Imperial is one of the fastest growing cities in California with a 23% increase in population in the last 15 years. With this rapid growth comes an increased demand for public safety services. The Imperial Police Department has experienced a proportional rise in service calls, stretching its already limited resources. So the Imperial Police Department currently operates out of a converted juvenile detention facility that also houses city hall and public services. This setup presents significant operational challenges, including limited space for law enforcement function, including evidence storage, security concerns due to multiple city departments being housed in the same building, and outdated infrastructure that does not meet modern policing standards. So the city has explored alternative locations, but no city-owned or commercially available properties are suitable without extensive and costly modifications. The California Highway Patrol Station at 2331 California 867 Imperial, California will soon be vacated. The facility is already configured for law enforcement operations and is centrally located within the city, ensuring good accessibility for residents. Utilizing this facility would minimize renovation costs compared to converting another non-law enforcement property due to existing infrastructure such as fuel storage, evidence lockers, and detention cells. The site is ideal for continued law enforcement use. SB 461 facilitates the transfer of the CHP facility to the city of Imperial, providing a cost-effective solution to the city's police department needs. This transfer will save taxpayer dollars by avoiding the expense of constructing a new facility or retrofitting an unsuitable property. By securing this facility, the city can focus its resources on other priorities, including housing development and essential services. I respectfully request that the City Council of El Centro approve a letter of support for SB 461, which will help your neighboring city of Imperial address its public safety infrastructure needs. I am happy to answer any questions or provide further information. Okay, well, thank you for your time and consideration.
Good, yeah.
We have,
Thank you.
we have prepared a letter for your signature, Madam Mayor Pro Tem as well, just supporting the request as well.
We need a motion and a second for this one. It's a vote.
I move that we send the request of strong support.
I second.
Motion passes 4-0.
Thank you, Madam City Clerk. We will move on to number 5, community sponsorship for Harlot Heart Foundation. We're going to have a presentation by our interim city manager, Danny Palomino. Am I saying it? I'm sorry, you guys, just forgive me. I'm getting there.
Parama works.
Danny, you know,
Danny.
the man, the man. There we go.
Stop. We did receive a request for possible support. We do have Ms. Ledbetter here that's actually going to provide a small presentation and maybe give additional information on it. Okay.
Hello, everybody. I'm back again, and it's so fun here. I'm this close to trying to get a seat with my name because it's like a real show here, I see. It's a good time. At first I said, wow, I'm right behind the show, but I got a show. So, I mean, hey, it was worth the wait. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. I appreciate that. That's better. So, again, I'm Jazz Ledbetter. For those of you who don't know me, I am an author, an artist, and an advocate for many different underserved and historically marginalized communities. My most renowned work is in trafficking. I wrote a book about my journey through it and how I ended up here in the Imperial Valley. My organization has been doing this work for about 5 years now. Since January, it was our first 1-year anniversary as an official nonprofit. The work we have been doing has reached places in Arizona and Nevada as well, all throughout California, but we're proud to call Imperial Valley our home and the hub where we do most of our outreach. I know you've seen my request and we're new to this, so I don't really know all the legality that you guys are allowed to do, but the amount that I requested would support outreach that would not be just for here, but to focus on our youth as a border county. I want to make sure that we have emphasis brought. The money that will be raised will allow us to keep doing our outreach and our advocacy as well as promote our documentary. Unfortunately, I seen my email late and I wasn't able to send over the visuals that I would have been able to present you guys with something to visually see the work we have been doing and a small clip of what we are producing. More so the Night of the Arts. It's our baby, and it's not going to be anything like the traditional galas you've all attended. It's going to be a beautiful night of just celebrating art through advocacy in all different mediums. So my entire collection will be on auction, as well as I have several of the finest artists in the Valley participating. We also have a lot of decorated models and designers that are all part of this event. And we're really excited to have the first one here in Imperial Valley in El Centro at that. So again, if you have any questions, if you want to know more about the things we do, most of the money that I make as an artist and a speaker has been put back into Harlot Heart just to support victims and either it be relocate or unite them back with their families and getting them to services that I can't provide and just providing outreach to people who don't have that and they need someone that's willing to speak for them and tell their story. So thank you.
So if I may add, this conversation was brought up with Mayor Oliva, and the initial request was for an amount of $5,000. His direction to me was to place it on the agendas so we could open up for your discussion. And I know that this council has been very generous in supporting a lot of events throughout this community. We did look at the budget that we have currently at this time, and the $5,000 unfortunately does exceed the budgeted amount that we currently have. But it is open for suggestions from this council. I believe that we are probably down to about like $1,200 now. And so.
Is this the figure, Danny? 1127?
There you go.
Okay. I was gonna ask that question.
Yes. So we're at about $1,200, close.
This is the community sponsorship fund, and it's the total, I mean, all we have there in that fund is $1,127. And this fund, is it funded annually? Do you know what the time frame on this is?
Well, this is an amount that you would, not necessarily that amount, this is what we have left in the fund, and every year we have a certain amount of money that we allocate for it, and it's, I believe that Madam Mayor Pro Tem, yourself and the mayor didn't recently, you just met correctly?
Yes.
And with the city clerk to
Yes.
discuss how much you would be allocating for next year?
Yes.
So I don't know if it was, I've yet to see what they discussed on it, yes, sir.
Yes,
Was there a recommendation?
We didn't come with a final recommendation yet.
Mr. Parma, that account comes from the city manager's office. Yes,
Oh.
so the total amount each year is $4,000.
Okay, thank you.
4,000.
Thank you.
But I know that the mayor did request $300, he was saying.
For this one?
Yes.
Okay. That I wasn't aware of how much, I know the last conversation I had with him is he was going to leave it open for discussion as far as the amount.
Do you know, Norma, when that is refunded, that when it starts over?
Yes, every fiscal year.
In
So we
June,
start again in
July.
July 1st.
Thank you.
Yes.
First.
Thank you.
May I propose a dollar amount?
Yes.
May I propose 500?
Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate that, Ms. Marqueen.
Do we have a motion?
I'll motion.
I'll second.
Congratulations.
Thank you guys so much. I'm trying not to cry on camera, but
Oh,
just to come full circle and to have sponsors such as Woman Haven who actually without them, I wouldn't be here and I wouldn't be the woman I am today. So to have the city behind us is going to be amazing. And I'm happy to put you guys as one of our sponsors. And I want to make sure each and every one of you are present and come enjoy the show. And I'm telling you, it's going to be a night to remember. So thank you. I appreciate you all. God bless you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Passes
And we
4-0.
wish you the best.
Thank you so
Yes,
much,
thank
Mayor
you.
Pro Tem.
Thank you, Ms. Ledbetter.
Thank you. Thank you.
Okay, moving on to our department reports. Number 6, to El Centro's finest, the El Centro Police Department Unmanned Aerial System Program Update. Show us what you got.
Well, I'm glad you said that, and since it's a short meeting, I've got about 35 slides to go through.
Oh,
I'm teasing,
man.
I'm teasing, I'm teasing. I promise my fellow department heads I'll keep it short, succinct, and brief
You can
as
do it.
possible.
You can do it.
So good evening, Mayor Pro Tem and distinguished members of council. I stand before you tonight to come back and kind of report to you on our unmanned aerial aircraft system, I should say, otherwise known as drones. So we use the term drones, which is a military term, and that's what's widely known amongst our community and amongst the nation. We have a program that we put in place. I'm going to go through the program, kind of the history of it, what we did to get to where we're at today, and the accomplishments we have so far, and where the program is going to go in the future. So I want to make sure that each of you know, when we're talking about drones, you're thinking military, we don't launch missiles. We don't have any weaponized drones or anything like that. We only observe from the drone system. That's very clear in our policy and so forth. But I want to say that for the public's sake, because those were questions we did field when we did a lot of public outreach. So a little bit of history on the program here. In 2019, we started the discussions internally about starting a drone or UAS program. And the purpose for that is really a force multiplier. We all know that manned aircraft are very expensive to operate, very expensive to purchase, and every several hundred air miles or air hours, I guess, they have to be rebuilt. At the time that this occurred, we were getting ready to decommission the only law enforcement air asset in Imperial County, which was owned by the Imperial County Narcotics Task Force, and that was due to cost. The annual maintenance fees for fuel, storage, hangar expenses, and so forth were just phenomenal, and just too expensive for us to continue. We currently do not have any manned aircraft systems for law enforcement purposes here in Imperial County. For mutual aid purposes, we rely on CBP that flies out of Yuma, Highway Patrol that flies out of Indio, and then San Diego for some of our federal partners that come out to assist us. So unmanned aerial apparatus such as the UAS or drones are becoming more affordable and more readily available to law enforcement. Throughout our time in researching this, we really wanted to make sure that we had the public's best interest in mind, and we had an understanding of what the limitations of the platforms were, what our goals were, and what policy constraints we needed to operate within. So during the timeline that's up there on the screen, you're going to see that we did a number of public outreach meetings. We did them online. They were recorded. They're still on our Facebook page. They were done in both the English and Spanish language to make sure that we spoke with and answered all the questions from all of our citizens in Imperial County. Most of the questions that we received were pertaining to, confidential natures, like, are you going to hover above my house, and what purpose are the drones going to be used for, and really privacy natures. So we did our best to really address all of that. It's all outlined in our policy. It was outlined in the original presentation. But I'm going to talk a little bit more about transparency in the next few slides to kind of give you an idea of where we want to go and bring this system so it's fully transparent to all of our citizens within the community. As of today, we have 3 drones in our possession. 2 of them are sitting on the table over here. They are U.S. manufactured drones, meaning that they are compliant with the federal requirements. They are not purchased from China, which is something that did put some requirements even for the current body in the White House. We knew that the federal requirements were going to be that we had to stay away from a particular set of drones that were manufactured overseas. So in moving the program forward, we want to make sure that we future-proofed all of our purchases to make sure that our dollars and monies were spent in a wise way. One more important note, none of our program to date has been purchased with general fund monies. My commitment to council in getting this started was we were going to use other funding sources. So we've used COPS or SLEF funds, which is a grant operated through the state of California, and those monies are used for frontline police services. And that's how we funded the program to date. I'm hoping that moving forward, we will be able to find something a little more sustainable, but that's where we're at right now. So we started this off because the city had participated in a poll of our community to find out what did our community want to find, or what did they want to see for public safety, public transportation, and all the services we provide. And during that 2019 survey, 20% of the respondents in relation to police technologies said they wanted us to start a UAS or drone program. So that's what kind of kicked off the conversations, was the survey that the city put out, and that led on to the future discussion. So currently we have 6 FAA certified pilots, 2 of which are in the room here tonight. They are Part 107 certified. They are able to fly the drones in the line of sight with an observer. They are operated pretty frequently, either for training purposes or for missions. The program went live in September of last year. We've flown 24 missions that are outside from training, and those range from burglary suspects, clearing burglary alarm calls, and searching for individuals involved with shootings and violent nature crimes. And you'll see a slide of that here in just a second. I mentioned we have the 3 drones or UAS as part of our fleet. We do see a need to expand that in the future. And specifically what we're looking for in the immediate future is a smaller drone. They're much more affordable. But what you can see over here on the table is something that's rather large. We're not really able to fly that indoors and be able to clear houses. So we're looking for much smaller drones that can be operated within a confined space, that are safe if they come into contact with a person. They're not going to cause injury or cause damage to the drone itself, and be able to add to our fleet. All of our pilots are certified to fly those other types of drones as well. It's just the addition of additional hardware. So this is the size of our current drones. We're looking for something that's a little bit larger than the size of your palm, and about a third of the cost, if not less. So we currently not only operate here for the police department, we are collaborating with our fire department, because it's all about partnerships and working together to best serve our community. These are not just police resources, these are city resources. What that allows us to do is we can fly during the time that they're fighting structure fires. We can note through our thermal imaging on the UAS, note any heat sources, identify that for the fire department, and communicate that to them. And our hope is that in the future, they'll be able to fly for us when we're on a call, so we can get more boots on the ground, as we always need additional resources.
Nice.
I'm trying to speed through this, so bear with me just a second.
You're
All right, so what you
fine.
can see here is one of our deployments. This was a deployment on a shooting that we responded to. In the red circle, you'll notice all of our officers that are clearing the backyard of a residence. The drone was flying overhead. It was flying during night hours. So the image you see is what we call thermal imaging. It picks up a heat sense or heat source, and the dark figures there are the heat source. The light areas are do not give out the same heat signature, and that we can see through the contrast what's going on in the backyard. Before our officers deployed, the drone was up in the air. We were able to see that there was nobody that was armed back there waiting for them or lying in wait. Our officers then walked through the area, cleared that area, and moved on to the next structure. That's just one of many ways that we can use the drones to make sure we're safeguarding our personnel and our citizens alike. So here's kind of what we are using them for currently. We've, again, searched for armed suspects. We've assisted other agencies in a number of different fashions, and we use them to document crime scenes and traffic collisions. So we recently had a very tragic incident that occurred within our city involving a motor vehicle collision, and it led to fatalities. You'll see in a subsequent slide the use of the drones for that as well. In the future, we hope to procure software that will allow us to actually draw or recreate crime scenes using our drones as the platform that collects all the data sources and so forth. Currently, it maps everything for us, but there is other additional software that will be able to kind of recreate the scene for us. All right, so where we're at right now, what you see in the upper left-hand corner is a flight pattern. It's overlaid on kind of a Google map image. The aqua or the light colored lines are the path that the drone has flown. Every one of our flights is recorded in this fashion. You will be able to see exactly where the phone was deployed, where it was located, the GPS coordinates for the entire flight. We can go back and replay that flight. And then what you see on the right-hand side is all of the data set that's captured with that. So it captures all the atmospheric conditions, the wind, the temperature, humidity, everything that's going on at the time that flight occurred. It also records the the elevation at which the drone was flying, and the speed in which it was flying. There's other screens that will tell you the direction in which the gimbal, which is the device that holds the cameras, is pointed. So we can tell our customers, I'm sorry, our clients within the city, and all of our citizens exactly what's going on for purposes of privacy, right? We're not hovering over backyards, looking into backyards unless we have a call for service. So if there's a drone in the air, we will be able to tell a person if they complain about somebody watching their backyard, everything. We can show the public that we were not watching that location. We were merely flying to the location we need to go to. And to that extent, we have 0 complaints in the first 6 months of the program. We have nothing but support so far, and we don't anticipate anything but that. Moving forward, our hope is to take this data and to put it on a forward-facing public website, much like what Chula Vista PD is doing currently. We want this information to be available to the public. Not necessarily the video that's captured, but the flight patterns, the time it was flown, so they can look out and they can determine whether it was a law enforcement drone or UAS that was up in the air, or whether it was a private citizen. What other agencies are finding, that really negates a lot of the complaints, because they're able to look and say that wasn't law enforcement, that was my neighbor or somebody else that was flying their drone in the neighborhood, not us. But it also shows a number of things. Again, the direction of the camera, the conditions, the flight time, and so forth. So moving forward, once this is on the website, we'll be able to say, okay, it was flown on this date, this time, this location, and for this purpose. And it will capture all the statistics behind the flight and behind the deployments, whether it was for training or searching for a shooting suspect, as one of those instances was, or clearing a large commercial property during a burglary alarm. Our hope is to move that forward. You've heard me talk about RIMS, our CAD RMS system. That is one of the holdups for this particular device, and our ability to put that out for the public forward-facing side. But our hope is to be able to remedy that in the future. And part of that is because there needs to be an integration to capture the call data to be fed into the system to be able to populate that for our public. One of the other things that I want to talk about is live drone feeds. So it's not just the individual that's holding the remote controls. That you can see the 2 officers down there. That's a sergeant in charge of the program and one of our certified pilots. They can see what's going on with the drone, but we have the ability to remotely watch the video feed from our office, from our vehicle, from our phone. So that's extremely helpful for our tactical teams. If they're getting ready to enter a location, they're able to see what's going on above them. It's extremely crucial for our firefighters if they're going into a structure, so they can see what they're getting into, as well as our officers. So we're able to tell from our home if it's after hours, or from our vehicle as we're responding to the scene, what is going on. We're able to make decisions and kind of override any activities that may be occurring that we have concerns with. And again, it's all about oversight and being able to make sure that we're doing what's right for our community and for our citizens. This is the same scene of that shooting. This is through the regular camera. This is the front of the location. And if you notice the property on the lower left-hand corner where it says fleet expansion, that is the property they were clearing. That is what you would be able to see with the human eye. And you notice the difference when it was, we call it dark hot, where the heat locations were made dark and the other locations were made light. You can actually discern what's in the backyard. And I'll flip back to that so you can see the difference here. But this area here is what you saw, the dark spot on that. And now you can see everything that's in the backyard, all the obstacles that they're going to be facing, and anybody that may be waiting back there versus just walking into a dark back. So again, kind of the contrast as to what the human eye can see versus what the technology allows us to see. So where do we want to go moving forward? I mentioned the purchase of some smaller drones to be able to allow us to fly indoors, both residential and commercial locations. Could you imagine an officer or a group of officers, 2, possibly 3, having to clear a building the size of a Costco? That takes a lot of time. It's also not the most secure way to do it, and it allows for potential of escape. If we had a burglary in progress or an incident that's occurring there and we had a smaller drone that we could fly indoors, we'd be able to clear that. And probably about 10 minutes is the best estimate that I've heard from some of our partners that are doing the same type of activity, versus about an hour and a half using manpower. Even with the K9, you're still looking at about 30 to 45 minutes to clear a building that size, whereas a drone can kind of move around quite a bit quicker than that. And drones are very frequently deployed with our K9 program. Again, it's all about officer and animal safety in that. Moving forward, what we'd like to do is we're going to continue to fly everything, make sure we capture all the statistics, make sure we're doing it in a responsible fashion, so we don't lose the trust of our public, because that's something that we realize can happen very quickly. and that we're very concerned and aware of. That's one of the reasons why we want to get to the public facing side of the event, to be able to show them what exactly we're doing so they can see the statistics. Our mid to long-term goal is to really be able to deploy these as drones as a first responder. That's being done all across the nation now, as pioneered in the city of Chula Vista. They are really the drone pioneers for all of law enforcement. But drones as a first responder would look something similar to this. We would have a drone placed on the rooftop of our police station in a device or a storage container that looks much like an RV air conditioning unit. We would hopefully have one over at maybe station 2 over on the east side of town. And when alerts came out, whether it be gunshot detections or license plate recognition cameras that meet certain criteria, an armed wanted felon, an at-risk endangered individual, if we receive those alerts, these drones can actually fly themselves to the general location, and the pilot sitting in our real-time intelligence center will be able to take control of the drone and maneuver it from there. But the ability to do that really cuts down on the need for resources. And some of the best uses that I've heard about from a number of different agencies, they're not just police resources, it's fire resources. So a lot of times we'll get a fire alarm call that, hey, there's a fire alarm at this location, or even if it is a structure fire, smoke scene. Most of the other agencies are flying drones out, using the drones as a first responder program. They're flying the drone on site, and they're able to report back to that battalion chief on duty. Here's what we're seeing. The battalion chief can log in and see what's there and determine, do we need the full apparatus to respond, or do we need to upgrade this to a different level of response and request additional response from other cities right from the very beginning. So it really allows you to scale back or scale up your incident and your response in a very timely fashion. Response times for police officers in cars for a priority 1, which is what we consider the highest priority, preservation of life. You'll hear me talk about preservation of life throughout all my presentations, because that's really what we're here to do, is make sure that there's no loss of life and people don't get injured. So our response time is currently sitting around 4 minutes. That's pretty good considering that the traffic in El Centro is getting increasingly worse. But that's lights and sirens if they're in the car waiting for that call to go out without any other calls hitting on the screen, or they're not out of their car on another call. The average response time for a DFR program with drones as a first responder is 1 minute or less on scene. They can get there 3 to 4 minutes faster on those priority calls than anybody in a car sitting there with their foot on the gas pedal ready to go. They don't have to stop or slow down for red lights, stop signs, other traffic. They can fly straight to the scene, and we can get eyes on the scene ahead of time, reporting back to the boots on the ground and the people in our communications center. There's other uses for this as well. So Elk Grove has launched a program. They have a very unique set of use for it, aside from public safety. And I heard this the other day at our technology summit that the commander and I went to. And I thought, man, what a great program. They use the drone to touch every street, physically fly over every street. And what that does is that allows them to identify issues for code enforcement, issues for infrastructure, whether it be potholes, and a number of different things that they're using for their public works department. It allows them to fly over their sewer plants, their water plants, other city infrastructure, and determine any threats or problems that may be occurring that aren't visible from the ground level. And most importantly, with 4th of July coming up and it being a hot topic in the Valley, one of the cities recently was able to deploy their DFR program and collect over $240,000 in fines for the use of fireworks in their city. Now, I'm not advocating that this is a moneymaker for the city, but we do have a response problem with identifying individuals responsible for using fireworks. That's been the topic of discussion for many years at council. Every year we put out a group of individuals, both joint from police and fire, to go out and try to diminish the use of illegal fireworks within the city. It's becoming more and more difficult for us. It doesn't matter if we have 4 or 5 people out there or 50 people out there, we're going to miss being able to see who's lighting them off. So this year, our commitment is we don't have a DFR program, but we will have a drone pilot embedded in our detail for the 4th of July to hopefully be able to take action, take it swiftly, and be able to deter that from occurring, at least prevent it from getting any larger than it currently is. I love fireworks, but in the city of El Centro, they're illegal. So we want to make sure that we have compliance on that. There are hundreds of uses for this program. It's really as wide as creative as you can be, and within the legal parameters of the law. But I wanted to present this tonight because my commitment was to bring it back at the 6-month mark, discuss how we're using it, what we've seen so far, any complaints that we have, which again are 0 complaints to date. We've got nothing but compliments. We continue to bring them out to our Coffee with a Cop event. I would imagine that there's going to be at least one night at the fair that they'll be on the tables at the fairgrounds. We want the public to see what we're doing. We're not hiding anything. We want to be right out there in the spotlight with them. We want them to understand why we have it, what it's used for, and how it can benefit them. So with that, I'm going to conclude my presentation because I could talk for a long time. We do have much more qualified people in the audience to talk about the specifics of the drones. If you have any particular questions, if you'd like to see them after the presentation, hopefully after we're adjourned, feel free to come over and take a look. But if there are any questions, I'm here to answer any questions, or have somebody that's a little more qualified than I come up and answer them for you.
Colleagues, do you have any questions?
I always have questions, but I'll catch you.
I don't have a question. I just have a comment, just saying thank you. This is eyes in the sky, as the kids would say. You know, we have eyes in the sky now, so this is really good for our public safety. Appreciate it.
I want to thank you for acknowledging it, but I will tell you that I have nothing to do with this other than giving them the blessing to move forward. We have some very dedicated men and women in our police department, as well as throughout the city.
Yes.
They are the people who do the hard work. I just get to stand up here and take a little bit of the credit.
Well, then
but I want to make
pass it
sure
on.
that they understand
Yes.
and that you understand I am not the one doing the work. They are the ones out there in the trenches. They're getting their Part 107 license, which is a very difficult test to take. It's very time consuming.
Wow.
It is through the FAA, so anything that has to do with the federal government and any certifications through the federal government, as you can imagine, are tedious and time consuming. But we have 6 that have passed it so far. We hope to expand that in the future. That's all we could afford at the present time. But we have a tremendous amount of talent within our ranks.
Yes.
And the sergeant and the officer, the detective that's here, our lieutenant and our commander and our deputy chief have really taken this to the next level. And we're drawing a lot on their experience, especially the deputy chief who came from Chula Vista, the premier program, and he's bringing that information back to us.
Wow.
We have a commander that's typing away, writing grants daily to try to get us more money for a number of different things, including this program. But our detectives and our officers that are out there in the field, they are the heart and soul of this program and every other part of it. So thank you for acknowledging it. I just want to make sure they get the credit they deserve.
Everyone is appreciated, and please pass the word on for my colleagues and I that we greatly appreciate everything that's being done.
Thank you. Thank you. No other questions? That was easy. Maybe we'll get out of here by 7.
We appreciate you guys. Thank you. Thank you.
Very impressive.
Very, very impressive. Very good for our public safety.
Just make sure you hold that with 2 hands, huh?
Yeah. And thank you, thank you, thank you. Do we have any legislative actions? No. No. So now we move on to our task force reports. Who would like to start this off for us? Which one of my colleagues is going to volunteer here?
Joe, would you like me to go first?
Oh, you may.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay. Well, let's see. Since our last council meeting, of course, we had the Mardi Gras celebration, and I would just like to commend Adriana and all of the team at Parks and Rec and Public Works and Public Works for inviting us to ride on your float. And that was so much fun. I know that my nieces always look forward to riding, with me on that float. So thank you, because I was really impressed with the crowd this year. There were so many people, and I think this event is getting bigger and better as each year passes by. So, again, congratulations for a very successful event. We also had our ECRMC board meeting last Monday. Well, actually a week ago. And let's see, I also serve as the alternate for the city representation on the LAFCO board. And so I was at the LAFCO meeting last Thursday morning, and I would just like to commend Mr. Campos and Mr. Hernandez for, the support that they provided for the city, because the 2 annexations that we recently approved were also approved by the LAFCO board. So, congratulations to all of the team that made that possible, because, that is just a clear indication of the growth that is happening in our city. And, as we know, we need so many new, builders to come in and develop new homes in our city. And so looking forward to seeing that come to fruition. Also attended the Imperial Valley Regional Chamber of Commerce held a networking event. So we were at the chamber mixer for a little while. And on a personal note, so I know that many of you are aware of my kidney cancer journey. And so, I just thank God that my clinical trial was extremely successful and that it cured me of my stage 4 cancer. And as a result, I've participated in 2 inaugural events that UCSD has held because that's where I received my treatments. And last year I was invited to give a testimonial about my participation in a clinical trial at their Clinical Trials Appreciation Day event. Well, this year they're also holding another inaugural event, and it's the Kidney Cancer Patient Summit. And I have been asked to be the keynote speaker at that event, and it's going to be up in La Jolla on March the 15th. And I'm excited, but I'm also extremely honored that they selected me. And my oncologist, my doctor tells me that, because of my resilience and my optimism and everything that I went through, and many of you probably didn't even know what I was going through because I just kept going and living my life as normal. And so because of that and because they took notice of that, I was invited to hopefully inspire more people, to participate in clinical trials because I was not aware, how reluctant people are. And so, I will serve as an advocate for that and as living proof that they do work. And so I'm a little nervous about it because I still have to write my presentation and put together, my little photo presentation as well. But I'm looking forward to it, and I'm proud that they selected me. So, alrighty. So.
Oh, congratulations!
Yes.
Congratulations!
Yes.
Thank you, everybody. Thank you for sharing with us. I know you'll do well. Okay, you want to
That
go
concludes
next?
my presentation.
Yes.
Just for me, I just attended. I did attend the LAFCO meeting as well. Did attend the flag ceremony at the Mexican consulate, but a lot of things I've been doing, if you don't know already, I like to read. So I'm just reading, trying to learn as much as I can right now about, we already mentioned about the hospital, the public forum, so I can be able to respond to as many questions as possible, and also the budget, the upcoming budget. To me, that's really important. As some of you have already talked to, others I'll be talking to again. And that's what I'm concentrating right now, budget and negotiations.
So I echo that. I don't think it's premature to say that we're going to have a meeting next Tuesday at 5:30 here in this building regarding our negotiations with the hospital, where we stand. And so this will be our first public meeting. So we'd like everyone to come. We're going to try and advertise this heavily. We'd like to fill the place up and to be able to air all of what's taking place. So that will be an important meeting. So thank you, staff, for being here every meeting, but this will be something very important, and we want to invite the public for sure. Other than that, Councilmember Camarem, myself, and Mario Renteria, we went to the Ceremonia Cívica de Conmemoración in Calexico to meet the new consulate from Mexicali. So that was an interesting thing, and saw some familiar faces there. So just being around and knowing who's who is important. So that's all I have to report.
Thank you. Well, I guess I will tell you that I am a victim of my technology, and my daughter has my phone, and I don't have a report because all my reports are in there.
We get it.
So I will tell the truth because that's who I am. But yeah, so I don't have anything to say as far as my task force report, but I do want to thank you for allowing me to lead you tonight and be my little guinea pigs as far as my mistakes being made. But as I go in the future, I will be able to conquer a whole lot more. but I do have the mayor's mentions that I will read. Imperial Valley Fair, the city of El Centro is participating in the California Midwinter Fair and Festival Herb of Arts CAL program. Our design was painted by local artists Kimberly Alfredo and Jesus Corralo. Make sure to look for it during the fair. Take a photo with it or send it to the public info at cityoflcentro.org by March 17th to be featured on our social media page. Also, National Employee Appreciation Day. We want to take a moment today to recognize and thank every single El Centro employee. Thank you, thank you, thank you for your commitment to serving our community. It does not go unnoticed, and we truly appreciate all that you do. Thank you for being an excellent part of our team. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And now I'm going to pass it on to our city manager for his report.
So we do have, thank you for bringing that up about the employee appreciation. We do have goodie bags that we put together, and so we'll be distributing to all the city employees as well. And as far as the cow goes, thank you, Adriana. Beautiful. It looks nice. It
It's
looks
nice.
really,
It was
really
very
nice.
pretty.
Beautiful.
And again, thank you for all the department heads who are currently working so hard on trying to get those numbers all crunched up for our mid-year. So extremely busy. Does that covers it, right? Busy, and another busy,
And another.
really busy. So thank you for that. I try to keep away from them as much as possible when I apologize profusely when I call them. I said, I'm sorry, but I know they're really busy on that. So thank you for that. And same events as you. And the other one that we attended was the Dutch Bros.
Oh, that's right.
Dutch Bros, their coffee, excellent. So, good.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. And with that being said, it is 7:03, and I can honestly say now, this meeting is adjourned.